Biden not happy with OPEC's decision to cut oil production by 2 million barrels a day, and for good reason. The cuts, which will start next month, are likely to raise gas prices. Less supply, same demand, higher prices. Well, President Biden is calling the cuts short-sighted, but there's not much he can do about it. According to Gas Buddy, a gallon of gas now costs $3.91 a gallon nationwide. That is up 10 cents from a month ago and 60 cents in the last year. Now, this summer, gas surged to $5 a gallon before the White House added to the supply by releasing fuel from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Now, gas prices could rise yet again. For how high those prices could go, I spoke with Gas Buddy's head of oil and petroleum analysis, Patrick De Haan. So gas prices down from a few months ago, but inching up again recently. Should we expect to see gas at $5 a gallon prices again soon?
Well, only in some areas of the country. Of course, California, really the entire West Coast already back at those $5 prices, but those will be coming back down. Meanwhile, much of the rest of the country, excluding the Great Lakes, will likely see prices going up 10 to 30 cents as a result of OPEC's production cut. But again, in the Great Lakes, refinery issues have already pushed up prices. So in the Great Lakes and the West Coast, you're actually going to see prices go down, offsetting OPEC's decision to cut oil production, which sent oil prices up by about $12 a barrel.
Well, and we know OPEC cutting production by 2 million barrels a day. How much will that impact us here in the U.S.? And are there other factors as well that could be driving up prices at the same time?
Well, the OPEC decision is a pretty big one. Oil prices prior to the decision were $77 a barrel. Now, since that decision, they've jumped up to about $93 a barrel. So certainly a big one. And like I said, I would estimate the national average could go up 10 to 30 cents, or at least most prices in most areas, except the Great Lakes and the West Coast will go up 10 to 30 cents. That would be areas like the Rockies, the South, the East Coast, and the Northeast. Whereas in the Great Lakes and the West Coast, you're actually going to see prices go down because of issues that had pushed prices up are now being addressed. And that's helping to lead lower wholesale prices in those regions.
And meanwhile, we know many Americans already thinking about their holiday travel plans. Higher prices will make driving more expensive, of course. Who can expect to be hit the hardest by price increases?
Well, I think there's going to be a fairly uniform increase here, at least because of OPEC. Now, in the weeks ahead, like I mentioned, the West Coast and the Great Lakes have been hit with a lot of refinery issues, and those issues are being sorted out. But if there's any new issues in those areas or anywhere else, really, gas prices could go up even further. And keep in mind, we are still in the midst of hurricane season, so any disruption from hurricanes could impact Americans in certain regions of the country.
What can the White House and other lawmakers do to try to keep prices from ballooning?
Not a whole lot. I mean, U.S. oil production, that certainly could use a boost, but President Biden is busy talking to countries like Iran and Venezuela on increasing oil production, or at least easing sanctions on those countries to raise oil production. I think the president could do more here in the U.S. to increase domestic oil production, which is still rather high. The U.S. is still the largest oil producer, but I think there's more we could do here.
All right, Patrick, certainly appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.